Good morning, students. So myself Akshay Mahendrakar, and we were discussing about mechanical properties of fluids. And in our last class, we had discussed what is the average pressure exerted on side walls of a vessel. Clear? And one more important thing we had discussed: what is the force for random shaped vessel. Clear? So in today's class, we are going to discuss some of the numericals. So first numerical is the density of the atmosphere at sea level is 1.29 kg per meter cube. Already they had given in what? SI units. Here 1.29 kg per meter cube. Next, assume that it does not change with altitude. Clear? That means if altitude changes means they are telling that the value, this density value, it is not changing. Then how high would the atmosphere will extend? So first of all, we will go for the given quantities. Yeah. Okay. Write one by one what are the things they are given. The density of the atmosphere at sea level. Density value is given to you. Kg per meter cube. That is how much? Density rho is equal to 1.29 kg per meter cube. Clear? And assume that it does not change with the altitude, then how high would the atmosphere will extend? So H value directly they are asking. Clear? So for these kind of questions, how we have to solve? So what is our pressure formula? Pressure due to a column, liquid column, or variation of pressure with depth. What formula we had got over there? So total pressure is nothing but what? Atmospheric pressure plus the pressure due to that liquid column. So here they are directly talking about what? Atmospheric pressure. That means P is equal to what? Rho G H. Where P is nothing but what? Atmospheric pressure. That is nothing but I am specifying with this as PA. Okay. So already you know this value, atmospheric pressure. In our last class we had derived. What is the value for this? 1.013 into 10 to the power of how much it is? 5. Correct now? 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal is equal to density value they had given. Clear? Just directly substitute 1.29 okay kg per meter cube already in SI units. Next G value, okay, take it for our convenience as 10 meter per second square. Clear? In problem also they had not given. Okay, you can choose 9.8 or 10. Slightly different value you are going to get if you are choosing 10 means. Then H value they are directly asking. Clear? Just by rearranging, check what is the value for H. H is equal to, how I can rearrange this one? 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 whole divided by 1.29 into 10, that is nothing but what? 12.9. Clear? So check how much you are going to get H value. Clear? Just by normal calculation you can calculate it. 1.013 divided by 12.9. If you round it off means how much you are going to get? Approximately 13. So 1.013 divided by 13 into 10 to the power of 5. Clear? So that will be your answer. Just check how much you are going to get. I will also check. So approximately when I had solved, I had got here 8 kilometers. That means 8 into 10 to the power of 3. Clear? So, but there I had chosen 1.01. Clear? And G value is 9.8. Clear? And you also just cross check how much you are going to get. Check it. Okay? 8 into 10 to the power of 3 meters, or simply what you can write it as 8 kilometers. Clear? Shift this decimal, okay, otherwise don't shift this decimal here, directly you can go for 13. 1.013 divided by 13, okay, approximately you are going to get 8 into 10 to the power of 3, clear, which is nothing but 10 to the power of 3 is nothing but what? Kilo, clear? So already we had discussed this in units and measurements, okay, prefixes in SI system. So 10 to the power of 3 stands for kilo, so directly I had written kilometer. Clear? So you can note down this. Shall we go to next problem? So now we will go to next problem. Clear? In this next problem, what all the things they had given and what all the things they had asked, let us see. At a depth of 1000 meter in an ocean, clear? What they had asked, what is the absolute pressure? So what they are asking basically, at a depth of 1000 meter means in sea, clear? Below 1000 meter depth. Okay, they are asking what? Absolute pressure means what is total pressure. Clear? What is the pressure value they are asking? Okay, what is the value for pressure they are asking? Next, what they are asking, what is the gauge pressure? What do we mean by gauge pressure? Yes, think about it. Gauge pressure, it is nothing but what? Difference of, not better to tell it as a difference, but we can call it as P minus PA. That means actual pressure minus atmospheric pressure is nothing but what? Gauge pressure. Clear? So first we will go for these two. Next we will check what all the things they are asked in third one. Clear? So solution. So first one for A, what they had asked, what is the value for absolute pressure? Clear? Pressure is nothing but what? At 1000 meter depth. Clear? What will be the value for pressure? P is equal to PA plus rho GH. Correct, no? It is nothing but sum of atmospheric pressure and due to that liquid layer also. Atmosphere is also applying some pressure on the surface of that ocean, and below 1000 meter means that below 1000, that means up to until 1000 so much water will be there, no? That will also apply some pressure. So what I can write it over here, P is equal to PA plus rho GH. Clear? PA plus rho GH. Now just substitute the values. PA already you know, they are not given, but we know this value. What is this value? 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5. Correct? 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5 plus rho is nothing but density of sea water. Clear? So density of sea water rho value given to you 1.03 into 10 to the power of 3. So 1.03 into 10 to the power of how much? 3. Row completed. Clear? Next into G value also given to you, that is nothing but 10. Here they had given this value is 10 into H value. Now cross check what is the H value. At a depth of 1000 meter, that means 1000 meter it is nothing but what? H value. So apart from writing it as 1000, I can write it as 10 to the power of 3. Clear? 10 to the power of 3. Clear? Okay. So this G represents for this given data. Okay. In bracket they had given that density of sea water also and G also. Clear? So now just calculate this, how much you are going to get, check it. So how to solve these kind of calculations means 10 to the power of 5 here you are having. Clear? Here you are having 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of 3 which will give rise to 10 to the power of 6 plus, into 10 again. That means 10 to the power of 6 plus 1. Clear? Here power that is not written anything here means that is nothing but 10 to the power of 1. So 10 to the power of 3 plus 10 to the power of 1 plus 10 to the power of 3 will give rise to 10 to the power of 7. Clear? So 1.03 into 10 to the power of 7 it is. Clear? So I will just write it over here, 1.01 okay into 10 to the power of 5 plus, how I can write this, 1.03 into 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of 3 means 10 to the power of 7. Correct? Huh? Now either adjust this as 10 to the power of 7 or adjust this as 10 to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 5. Clear? Here both the multiplication factor should be same. Here also 10 to the power of 5 means adjust this to 10 to the power of 5. Clear? If you want 10 to the power of 7 means leave it as it is. Here you should have to change for 10 to the power of 7. So in what method we can go? Shall we go for changing this method? So instead of writing 7, clear? We will write it at 10 to the power of 5. And here what we will get, check, 103. Correct, no? Am I correct? So here 1.01 okay into 10 to the power of 5 as it is, clear, plus 103. Clear? 2 decimal points I had shifted here. Clear? So 2 shifted here means 10 to the power of 7 means 65. It is nothing but 10 to the power of 5. So now ultimately take 10 to the power of 5 common. In the bracket what is remaining? 1.01 plus 103. That means 104.1. Correct? No, 103 plus 1 it is nothing but 104.1. No, 0.01. Correct? Huh? 0.01. Yeah, 104.01. Cross check whether I had it correct or not. 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5. 1.03 into 10 to the power of 3 into 10 into 10 to the power of 3. Clear? 1.03 into 10 to the power of 7. Correct? Here I had shifted decimal 103 into 10 to the power of 5. So finally I got 104.01 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay? This is nothing but our absolute pressure. Clear? First copy until this point. Next we will go to B part. Okay? Copied? Shall I erase the board? Clear? So, absolute pressure how much we got? We got absolute pressure as 104.01 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Correct? Huh? Okay. Next in B what they had asked, what is the gauge pressure? Okay. So solution for B. Gauge pressure, it is nothing but what? P minus PA. Okay, P minus PA is nothing but what? Gauge pressure. Now check what is the value for P. P is nothing but what? Absolute pressure. Okay, so it is nothing but how much we got? 104.01 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay, next minus atmospheric pressure value 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay, 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5. Now check this difference. Directly take 10 to the power of 5 outside. So 1.01 here you are having 104.01. Difference how much you will get? 104.01 minus 1.01 means you will be going to get here how much? 103. Correct? 103.01 into 10 to the power of 5. Correct? No? 1.01 here 104.01. Okay, directly we can solve. Here it will just vanish. 0, 0 we are going to get. Correct? No? Here 103 into 10 to the power of 5. That is nothing but what? Gauge pressure. Clear? Shall we go to C? Shall I erase the board? Okay. Now in C what they are asking, just read it out. Find the force acting on the window area 20 centimeter into 20 centimeter of a submarine at this depth. At this depth means at the depth of 1000 meter. The interior of which it is maintained at sea level atmospheric pressure. Clear? So what are the things they are asking here? Finally they are asking us force. Okay. What is the expression for force from pressure? Force is nothing but what? Pressure into area. Clear? And they had also said that inside this depth, the interior of which it is maintained at sea level atmospheric pressure. That means above the submarine, which pressure it is applying? PA plus rho GH. But inside we are having only PA. Clear? So net force will become gauge pressure, which is nothing but PG into A. So what is our gauge pressure value? How much we got for B? What is the gauge pressure? 103, correct now? 103 into 10 to the power of 5 into area 20 centimeter into 20 centimeter. Convert it into meters. What you are going to get? So directly shall I write 20 into 10 to the power of minus 2, 20 into 10 to the power of minus 2. 20 into 20 it is nothing but 400. Clear? 400 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Correct now? So now calculate this value. You are going to get force which is applying on that window of sides, area 20 centimeter into 20 centimeter. Clear? So I got here 4.12 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Clear? Just solve it and check once again. Clear? So this is 10 to the power of 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 means somewhere it will be 10 to the power of 1. Then 103 into 400, it is a maximum value. So finally if you change the decimal point means not changing the decimal point but shifting the decimal point means you are going to get 4.12 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Clear? Shall we go to next problem? Copy it down. Shall I erase the board? Clear? So this is one of the famous question which has been asked in IIT. Now just go through this question. What all the things that are given? A submarine experiences a pressure of 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Clear? So there is a submarine. It experiencing a pressure of 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal at a depth D1. Clear? At a depth D1. They had not given us D1 value. Okay, that means imagine that this is a submarine and this is sea level. This submarine will go inside. Okay, this distance is nothing but D1. Clear? So at this point, pressure value they had given but not D1 value. So pressure value how much they had given? 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Okay, at depth D1 in a sea. Next, when it goes further to a depth of D2, that means when it goes still deeper, what they are asking, it experiences a pressure of 8.08 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Clear? Next what they are asking, when D2 minus D1. D2 minus D1 is approximately equal to what is that value? Then density of water given to you, and you also already know this value 10 to the power of 3 kg per meter cube, and G value is also given 10 meter per second square. Clear? So shall we go for this solution? So how we can solve? Have you got the solution or have you got the idea, anything? So first they are telling that at a D1 depth, it is at this much pressure. Clear? So first of all I will call it as at some depth P1, at some depth D1 we got pressure value as 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Correct now? Next, again what they are given? When it goes further to a depth of D2, it is experiencing a pressure of this much. That means I will be calling that as P2. So P2 is nothing but 8.08 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Correct now? 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal, 8.08 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. So P1 is nothing but pressure, okay, at a depth D1. And what will be the value for this P1 actually? P is nothing but what? Okay, if we are using a sea, okay, inside a sea or inside a lake means what is our regular formula of what it will be? In the presence of atmospheric pressure, okay, pressure below some depth h is nothing but what? P is equal to PA plus rho GH. Correct no? So I will be treating P1 as PA plus rho G. We are having the habit of writing rho GH. Correct no? But here they had given at a depth of D1, that's why rho G D1 I will be specifying. So PA plus rho G D1 is equal to 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Clear? Next, Directly you can write 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6. No need to write assignments. Next, for second one, what we can write? PA plus rho G D2 is equal to 8.08 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. Okay, we are calling this equation as equation number 1, this as equation number 2. So finally what they are asking us, then d2 minus d1 is approximately, what is this value? d2 minus d1 they are asking. So here we are having d2 factor, here we are having d1 factor. d2 minus d1 we want, that's why equation 2 minus 1 let us do, and let us check whether we will get d2 minus d1 or not. Clear? So d2 we are having here, okay. Equation 2 minus equation 1. So what it will be? PA plus rho G D2, PA plus rho G D2 minus this quantity. Correct? No, left hand side minus left hand side. So minus PA minus rho G D1 is equal to here 8.08 into 10 to the power of 6. Here minus here what we are having 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6. So here I am writing 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6. So now here what will happen, just check, PA will get cancelled, plus PA minus PA, correct na? So rho G D2 minus rho G D1. So rho G you can take it common, rho into G into D2 minus D1. Okay, is equal to 8.08 into 10 to the power of 6 minus 5.05 into 10 to the power of 6. So we'll take 10 to the power of 6 common. So you will be remaining with 8.08 minus 5.05. Clear? This is 5.0. Next, check what all the things. Finally, I can separate this d2 minus d1. Correct now? d2 minus d1 is equal to 8.08 minus 5.05. How much it will be? 5.05, 8.08. 5.05 means 6.06, 7.07, 8.0. 3.3, huh? Cross check. You also have to cross check this value, 3.3. So into 10 to the power of 6. 3.3 into 10 to the power of 6. Okay. d2 minus d1 is equal to this factor divided by rho g. Correct? Divided by rho into g. So finally substitute all the values, rho as well as g. Rho g given to you, okay. Rho value of 4 given to you, g value also given to you. Rho value is 10 to the power of 3, g value is 10. So finally this factor will become 10 to the power of 4. Okay. So 10 to the power of 4 means, if it goes to numerator means it will become 10 to the power of minus 4. 10 to the power of 6, 10 to the power of minus 4 will become 10 to the power of 2. Correct? So 3.3 into 10 to the power of 2. Okay, this is nothing but d2 minus d1. It will be in the units of meter. Yeah? So if you wanna write in kilometer means how you can write? 10 to the power of 2, you are going to shift it to 10 to the power of 3 means 0.3 kilometer. Correct? 0.33 kilometer. Yeah? This is nothing but what? d2 minus d1. Okay, once again I will write. This may be 3.03 once you cross check. Clear? This will be 3.03. So here what you are going to get a 3.03 into 10 to the power of 2 meter. So finally d2 minus d1 is equal to, so if you multiply with 10 to the power of 2 means what you are going to get? 303 meter. Okay, directly. Everything it is in SI. 303 meter. Clear? Okay, copy down this. Shall we go to next concept? Shall I erase the board? Clear? So next we are going to discuss about hydrodynamics part. When the fluid was at rest, okay, that is known as what? Hydrostatics. And when it comes under motion part, that means when the fluid starts flowing, we will be studying or we will be discussing all the concepts in what? Hydrodynamics. Okay, that means hydrodynamics is nothing but simply it is a branch of physics, clear, where we are going to discuss about fluids when they are in motion. That part is treated as what? Hydrodynamics part. Okay. For discussion of this hydrodynamics part, we are assuming a kind of a fluid which is known as ideal fluid. Clear? So we are considering it should have some characteristics, and if it satisfies, and we are assuming that a fluid is having such characteristics, and then we are proceeding with what? Hydrodynamics part. Clear? So we are going to make some assumptions over here. Assumptions. We are assuming something. Yeah. So first assumption. Fluid is non-viscous. Clear? Next, I will tell you what is non-viscous. Fluid is incompressible. Okay? Third one will be fluid flow should be steady. Should be steady. Last one, fluid should be irrotational. Clear? Now, fluid should be non-viscous fluid. Now question arises, what do we know as non-viscous? Let us consider two examples. Okay, in one example only two parts. So what we are doing, we are having a small cup, okay, small cup which is filled with water. Are you getting my point? A small cup which is filled with water. So what I will do, I will throw water for this board. Okay, for this green board I will throw water like this. So within very short interval of time that water will come down very quickly. Clear? And in second case, so what I will do means, I will take honey. So that honey I will throw. Okay? Now how much time honey will take? Okay? Obviously it is maximum than water. Correct? No? That means what we are dealing here means, honey is treated as completely viscous liquid. Okay? Viscous material. Oil is viscous material. Okay? Water is non-viscous material. Clear? Have you got the difference between what is viscous and non-viscous? Clear? Next. Fluid is incompressible. So now question arises, what is incompressible? Already we had discussed while discussing applications of Pascal's law basically in hydraulic lift. Okay? And an incompressible liquid is used between two cylinders with the horizontal pipe. What is the meaning of this incompressible? Yes, come on. You know? Yes, what is incompressible? What is the meaning of incompressible? delta V value should be equal to what? 0. I told you, no? Incompressible means delta V value should be equal to 0. That means even if we apply pressure, the volume doesn't get changed. Okay? Final value as well as initial volume, both the volumes are same. That means we are not going to get any change in volume. We are not getting any change in volume means delta V value will be equal to 0. That is nothing but what? Incompressible. Okay? That means it doesn't get compressed. Okay? Fluid should not be compressed. That is the meaning of this incompressible. Next, fluid flow should be steady. Okay? If a vehicle is moving with constant velocity, okay, what we are going to treat? Vehicle is moving in steady condition, steady manner. That means here velocity should be equal to constant. What they are trying to tell us means fluid flow should be steady means, okay, velocity of the fluid will be what? Constant. Okay. Next, fluid should be irrotational. I hope you will be going to get this point. Irrotational. Clear? Rotational means it will be rotating in a complete circular manner. Okay. Irrotational means it should not follow that rotational manner. Clear? So, next, after discussion of all these things, after discussion of all these 4 assumptions, we are going to define a new factor which is nothing but ideal fluid. Ideal fluid. Okay? Ideal fluid. So now question arises. So what is ideal fluid? Correct? Huh? So ideal fluid, so how we are going to define ideal fluid means an incompressible, non-viscous and irrotational fluid which is moving in with a constant velocity or constant speed, that is known as ideal fluid. Okay? So an incompressible, non-viscous and irrotational fluid which is moving in a steady manner, that is nothing but what? Ideal fluid. Clear? Next, we are going to discuss about what do we know as steady flow. Okay, when we are going to tell that fluid flow is steady. Clear? That we are going to discuss now. Steady flow. Okay, let me tell the definition first of all. Then we will discuss what is the meaning of that. A fluid flow is said to be steady. Okay? A fluid flow is said to be steady. Imagine that here we are having one path. Okay? In this path, let us assume that water is flowing. Okay? In this path, what is happening? Water is flowing. So what I will choose? I will choose 3 points here. Okay? Let us name this point as A. Okay? Here this point as B and here this point as C. Clear? At this point, velocity of the body will be in this direction. Clear? Next, at this point it will be in this direction, and this point it will be in this direction. Okay, water it is continuous flowing. At this point, earlier water will flow again. Okay, imagine that here we are having 2 meters per second. Okay, here 5 meters per second, here 15 meters per second. Let us assume. So what I am going to tell you is, at this point, okay, all the fluid particles, okay, all the fluid particles which are entering at this point, all the fluid particles should get this 2 meters per second only. Okay, and that same particle if it comes here means it should have to attain 5 meters per second only. Clear? And if it came here means it should have to attain what? 15 meters per second. So fluid flow is said to be steady if the fluid satisfies the same amount of velocity at a given point, both in magnitude as well as direction. That means at this point, magnitude is 2 meters per second in this direction. Okay, next fluid particle, because it is flowing water. Okay, this particle will come here again. Okay, it is continuously moving process. So next particle when it came here, that also should have to attain same value of velocity. Clear? So the flow of a fluid is said to be steady if all the particles of the fluid, okay, flow in a steady manner. How they are flowing in a steady manner means at a given point, okay, if we are cross checking the value of velocity means at a particular given point all the particles of the fluid or all the fluid particles should attain the same velocity at that given point, both in magnitude and direction. Okay, that is the meaning of steady flow. And one more important thing, the path followed by the steady fluid. Come again. The path followed by the steady fluid. Path followed by the steady fluid means we are considering a single particle in that fluid. Clear? So when a single particle, if we want to check what is the path followed of that particle, then that path followed can be treated as streamline. Okay, shall I write it here? Streamline. Streamline. Clear? So streamline is nothing but what? We have two definitions for streamline. First definition we are discussing now. It is nothing but the path followed by the fluid particle. That is nothing but what? Streamline. And one more definition is there. For a given point on a streamline, if we draw tangent at that point, means that tangent will give us the direction of velocity at that point. That means imagine that where I can draw a streamline. Can you able to see here? Yeah. Okay. Let us see. We are having a streamline in this manner. That means this is nothing but path followed by a single particle, small particle of the fluid. When we are considering a small particle of the fluid, it is following or it is traveling in some path. Okay, that path is nothing but this path. Clear? So what we are going to do now, first of all, streamline is nothing but what? It is nothing but the path traced or the path followed by the steady flow or steady liquid. Okay, steady flow of the fluid particle. That is nothing but streamline. And at any point, if I draw tangent means, let us consider at this point, if I draw tangent here means, this tangent will give me the direction of velocity at this point. Clear? Now again, at this point, if I draw tangent means, the tangent will give us what again? The direction of velocity. So I hope you might have understand what do we known as streamline. So basically, streamlines are nothing but what? They are nothing but the path followed by the fluid particles in which flow? Steady flow. Okay, this word is important, steady flow. Okay, and one more fact, the tangent drawn at any point on the streamline, that tangent will give us what? The direction of velocity at that point. Clear? Shall I repeat all the things once again in a small introduction part, small conclusion part I will conclude. First of all, hydrodynamics, it is nothing but what? We are studying the motion of fluid particles. Okay, when the fluid comes in motion, that we are going to discuss it in hydrodynamics part. So for studying hydrodynamics part, we had assumed some assumptions. Okay, with the help of some assumptions, we are going to study all these things. First assumption is nothing but what? Fluid should be non-viscous. I hope with the example of honey as well as oil compared with water, how they are viscous materials. Clear? Next I said fluid should be incompressible. Incompressible, the meaning itself will tell that it doesn't get what? Compressed. Clear? Next, it should have a steady flow. Steady flow is nothing but what? Velocity value should be equal to constant. That means the fluid should have to flow with constant velocity. That is nothing but fluid flow should be steady. Okay. Next, fluid should be irrotational, means as that name suggests, fluid should not flow in a circular round manner. Okay, like that. It should not rotate. Clear? Now, the fluid which is having all these four assumptions, that is nothing but what? Ideal fluid. Okay, an incompressible liquid, an incompressible, non-viscous and irrotational fluid, with the steady flow is known as ideal fluid. Clear? Next, we are going to discuss about what is steady flow. Steady flow means velocity should be what? Constant. But how velocity should be constant? At a given particular point, all the fluid particles should have to flow with what? Same velocity. That is nothing but what? Steady flow. Now here we discuss about streamline. So what is streamline? Basically streamline, it is nothing but the path followed by the fluid particle, or on a streamline if we draw a tangent, the tangent will signifies us the direction of velocity of fluid particle at that particular point. Clear? So this is all about steady flow. Next we are going to discuss about next part of this. Okay, steady flow. Next we are having about turbulent flow. Okay, but before going to turbulent flow, we are having an important terminology. Okay, that is nothing but critical velocity. Critical velocity. Clear? So critical velocity is a minimum velocity, okay, in which or below which the fluid flow is said to be steady flow. Okay, for a value for critical velocity, how we can determine means, okay, in just a simple manner I will try to explain you what is critical velocity. Imagine that we are having this fluid particles, these are going with at this point 2 meter per second, 5 meter per second, 15 meter per second, like that. Okay, there is some particular velocity in which if it crosses the velocity of that particular velocity means, then the fluid flow should be not steady. Clear? It is completely disturbed one. So the disturbed kind of matter, okay, or the disturbed kind of manner of fluid flow is treated as turbulent flow. Clear? So shall I erase this board? Okay, if you want to copy down this, you can copy it down. Okay, shall I erase the board? Clear? So next we are discussing about I should have to write what? Turbulent flow, not velocity. Velocity, where we have discussed critical velocity. Turbulent flow. Okay. So, while discussing steady flow, what I had told you, after discussion of steady flow, we had discussed one more important factor, that is nothing but what? Critical velocity. Clear? That means until that point, okay, until that velocity, we are going to tell that it is in steady flow manner. Next condition is nothing but what? Turbulent flow. So how you can define turbulent flow means, if velocity of the fluid exceeds with the velocity of critical velocity or exceeds with the value of critical velocity, then that kind of fluid can be treated as turbulent flow. Clear? That kind of flow can be treated as turbulent flow. So in this turbulent flow, what will happen means, at each point, okay, at each instant of time, they will be having, that means velocity will be having different direction, different magnitude, everything will be completely changing. Clear? So turbulent flow, how we can define turbulent flow? If the velocity of the fluid particles exceeds with the value of critical velocity, then that kind of flow is nothing but what? Turbulent flow. Clear? So let us discuss some of the things over here. Imagine that how where you can imagine this or where you might have seen this turbulent flow means, let me tell you. Whenever a fast water is flowing, clear? Whenever fast water is flowing, in between you are going to keep one small stone. Clear? If small stone is there means there velocity will get disturbed completely. That means initially we are going to have streamlines in this manner. These are nothing but what? Streamlines. Okay, path followed by the fluid particle. Okay, like this water is flowing. So in between what I did, okay, here I kept one stone. This is nothing but what? Stone. This is stone. So what will happen when I kept stone? This particle of the fluid will go and it will hit for the stone. Again it will come back. Again here one more particle, it will go. Okay, it will come back after hitting it. Okay, in this manner we are going to get streamlines over here. Okay, and the further particles will be moved as it is. Clear? So after this stone also, here also you will be going to get a disturbed manner completely. These are nothing but what? These arrow marks represents streamlines. That means direction of fluid particles. Okay. So whenever you are going to keep a stone, when the water is flowing steadily, when the water is flowing in a normal way, so in between if we kept stone, means how the streamlines will get disturbed, that is nothing but turbulent flow. Clear? And here some eddies and vortices are formed, correct na? And what all the things we can discuss over here? Best example for turbulent flow is nothing but when in rainy season, whenever the car moves, okay, behind that car the water will get disturbed. That is nothing but turbulent manner. Okay, and one more best example where you might have seen means in water jet boats. Okay, above jet boat will be moving and beside that engine will be there. Okay, if you concentrate on that part when the boat is moving, means water will be completely getting disturbed all the time, very instantaneously. That completely disturbance will be carrying, and as the boat moves further and further, you will be going to see that backside white color, correct na? So that is due to the effect of turbulence. And if they asked you what is the difference between streamline and turbulent flow, means what you can tell? First of all, you can write the definition. Clear? Next, what you can write? Velocity there, critical velocity is, velocity of that steady flow, it is less than critical velocity. And in turbulent flow, what you can tell? Velocity of the fluid particle will be higher than critical velocity. Okay. In streamlines, we won't get this kind of shapes. Okay. This kind of shapes is nothing but eddies and vortices. Okay. In steady flow, we won't get any eddies and vortices, but in turbulent flow, we are going to see this eddies and vortices. Clear? So, keep studying. Again, we are going to discuss all the remaining things in our next class. Okay? Thank you.